The first stop in the 2024 Fox 9 Town Ball Tour comes to New Prague in Memorial Park as the New Prague Orioles host the Waterville Indians here tonight on Fox9.com and the Fox 9 app. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Hupp alongside Fox 9 sports anchor Jim Rich. And Jim, after a little bit of weather, a little bit of storms, it's cleared out, and we've got a beautiful night for baseball.
It is fantastic night for baseball. The rain came through quickly. That was good. The guys really did great field maintenance. And we're not talking about a grounds crew. We're talking about the Orioles themselves. They had to go out there and clean up the mess. They sopped up the water that was around the bases, covered the mound, covered home plate, and it looks fantastic now. And they're ready for baseball.
It sure does. And 65 and sunny as we give you the starting lineups. First for the visiting Waterville Indians, they will start Bladen Bartlett, the center fielder. He'll lead off. Batting second, Josh Cook, the second baseman. Luke Selner, the starting pitcher, bats third. The shortstop, Ben Boran, bats in the cleanup spot. Nolan Gross plays right field and bats fifth. Dalton Gross, the first baseman, bats sixth. Batting seventh, Jake Melstrom, the catcher. Nolan Wetzel, the designated hitter, bats eighth. Batting ninth is Tom Gannon, the left fielder, and just playing in the field tonight is Ethan Bartlett, the third baseman. They will face the New Prague Orioles, who will play defensively with Eric Wagner in right field, James Furness in left field, Tommy McBroom in center field. Around the infield, it will be third baseman Gavin Bergman, shortstop Ben Schmitz, second baseman Bo Plaisance, and first baseman Dan Ring, in a battery of Anthony Motter, and the starting pitcher for tonight, Jake Deutsch.
And we are set. Town Ball is underway here in New Prague.
Yes.
Pretty awesome.
Beautiful night for baseball. Waterville in the black jerseys, orange numerals and lettering, and white pants, and New Prague, the Orioles, looking like the Baltimore Orioles in those orange jerseys with the black socks, black hats, orange bills, black lettering, and numerals. Here's the pitch, and it's fanned and missed by the leadoff hitter, Bladen Bartlett, the center fielder. His brother playing third tonight, Ethan Bartlett. Lefty-righty matchup as the pitch comes in, and it's close, but taken for a ball. 2-2 the count to the leadoff hitter for the Indians.
Well, look at where that left foot is on the batter's box.
Yep, wrapped on the ground to first. Ring up with it, steps on the bag, and there's one away in the top of the first inning. Yeah, he is deep in the batter's box.
He's taken as much time and as much distance as humanly possible to see those pitches before he has to pull the trigger or not.
So 3 unassisted on the putout. And then brings up Josh Cook, the second baseman for Waterville. Just underway here in New Prague. Bluff to bunt, took a called strike anyway from Deutsch.
Interesting, right? Trying to get everybody on their toes early in the game.
Yeah, the infielders are playing back. Third baseman Bergman, even with the bag. It's on the ground to the shortstop Schmitz. He's up with it, over to first in plenty of time. 6-3 on the putout for out number 2.
You know, for people that don't usually watch town ball, I always marvel at the athleticism of these guys. A lot of them are former high school players, some college guys, and guys that played here a long, long time ago in high school, but still stay in town and be a part of this. And it's good baseball.
It is, yeah. It's a beautiful way. It's a great way to spend a Friday night when you got nothing going on, and it's a nice night. You just want to be outside. Town ball is a great thing to do on one of those nights. As the pitcher, Luke Selner, grounds to third. Bergman up with it. Good stretch at first by Ring. And Waterville is retired 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. To the bottom of the first we go, scoreless here in the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. Bottom of the first about to begin here in New Prague as the Orioles will come to bat. They'll send Eric Wagner, the right fielder, Jake Deutsch, the pitcher/designated hitter, and then Gavin Bergman, the third baseman, up against the lanky Luke Selner. And I was standing next to him in the dugout. He's a big kid, Jim.
Yeah.
So he can rush it up there for sure. Interestingly, these two teams faced each other actually in the Town Ball Tour when it was in Waterville 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And Waterville defeated New Prague 5-3 in that game. Waterville, a 11-time state tournament participant, including last year. So both programs with a lot of history as Eric Wagner batting from the right side digs in against Selner. Selner fires a strike over the outside corner. And the cool thing about this, Jim, I just think is the community support, especially with the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. People get excited and really come out and support these things. And anytime Fox 9 comes to town, and it's a credit to Fox 9 and how much they promote Town Ball in these communities when they come.
Well, it was something that we've started, and at first we didn't really know what to expect. It was just kind of that window. Right, spring sports, the Wild and the Wolves usually are done. Twins aren't that hot early in the year. The interest isn't there. And, of course, Vikings aren't doing much right now.
That's blasted out to left center field, giving track. That's going to be out of the reach of Gannon. Pulling up into second with a leadoff double, Eric Wagner, the right fielder, as he belted that one just shy of the 355 sign in left center field.
That was a heck of a swing there. He drove that ball, and it wasn't a high fly ball. It was a ball that really had purpose. It was driving quickly to the wall, or the left fielder could have probably flagged it down if it had much more height under that hit.
Yeah, it was a line shot for sure, and so Wagner stands at second base with the first hit of the game. And now you've got the pitcher, Jake Deutsch, old school with those high stirrups, no batting gloves. Batting from the right side against the right-hander, Selner. Here's the pitch. Just off the outside corner, ball one. So these two teams obviously having played each other a couple years ago. Nick Schenecker, the manager of New Prague, when they had a hole in the schedule, called up his counterpart over in Waterville and said, hey, do you guys want to do it again? And they said yes. Technically, this is an exhibition game.
Okay.
But I have a feeling that neither team is going to play it like an exhibition game.
No. As soon as they see each other and get to the ballpark, it becomes serious.
These are two teams that are in the Class C rankings as Deutsch looks at a ball outside, and the count runs to 3-0. Ethan Bartlett just inside the bag at third base as Wagner continues to lead from second. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled off. Interestingly, because of the success of the New Prague high school program, they're actually playing a section final tonight over in Dundas against top-seeded Farmington, and New Prague just needs to win one game to make it back to the state tournament, a place they've been a lot lately.
Yeah, we were talking to some of the New Prague guys about the history of this program and the high school program.
Deutsch smokes that back up the middle. He'll wave Wagner. He comes sprinting around. The throw home will not be in time, and it's a 1-0 lead early for New Prague.
Good piece of hitting, punching it through the right side of the infield, out into center field, and there was no stopping the runner on second. He was going to try to score the whole way and makes it in easily as the throw came in late.
Yeah, it was hard hit, so I wasn't sure if they were going to try to hold him up and have runners at the corners.
Especially with nobody out.
Right, exactly, but they ultimately waved him in. So now it's Gavin Bergman, the third baseman. Bartlett cheating in on the grass at third. Runner at first as the pitch is swung on and missed.
Good off-speed pitch there. He was way out in front of that one.
Jake Deutsch helping his own cause, as they say, with an RBI single here in the bottom of the first. Outfield playing him straight away, Bergman. Selner pitching from the stretch, kind of drops down, sort of three-quarter arm, slings it, and misses. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, that one was down low.
Lights are on, but have not started taking full effect yet, as we're fast approaching the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. Here's the pitch, and it's bounced in. Good block at the dish by Mellstrom, the catcher.
Well, he's been hit hard here, so he doesn't probably want to put anything over the heart of the plate because he's given up 2 pretty well-hit balls already to the first 2 batters.
Yeah, double and a single so far against Selner. The set and the pitch, and that's smoked as well into left field. Gets down in front of Gannon, and the third straight Oriole is aboard with a base hit here in the bottom of the first. The hard hits continue against Selner, and that brings up the left fielder, the cleanup hitter, James Furness. So Furness with an opportunity to further the New Prague lead with 2 on and nobody out here.
You can see why he's batting cleanup. He's got some pretty good size on him.
Yeah.
If he connects, it could go a long way, I think.
Swings, takes a mighty hack at that first pitch and fouls it on back.
He wanted that. Just missed it.
Of course, Town Ball, a wood bat league. He's got that orange bat.
Means danger, I think, to opposing hitters.
Yeah.
Or opposing pitchers, rather.
And it hits it off the end of the bat to left field, and that's foul.
Oh, that was gone, too.
Oh, if he'd straightened that out, that would have been over the 325 sign in left field, but he just hooked it foul, and so he's down in the count now 0-2.
Did you see how easy that stroke was for him, though?
Yeah,
That was like nothing.
Yeah, that was pretty comfortable, and even though that was off the end of the bat, I think if he'd barreled that up, that would have been out of here. As it stands, still runners at first and second, and the count 0-2 now on Furness. Selner drops down, and Furness wraps it right back to him at first. He'll go to second for 1, and that'll be all. Hard slide into second by Bergman. So the fielder's choice goes 1 to 4 to get the first out of the inning.
He looked over at third, but that runner had already broken and was pretty much there by the time he fielded it. So it's almost a little dicey to go for the guy at second. I mean, I probably was thinking that he could maybe double up Furness if he got the throw there fast enough, but they could only get 1.
Tommy McBroom, the center fielder, stands in. He looks at a called strike at the knees with runners at first and third and still only 1 out here in the Orioles half of the first. Selner pitches, and he had him fooled on that one.
Yep.
So
the off-speed stuff seems to work pretty good. It's when he tries to blow the fastball by him. They've been sitting right on that.
So it's a good crowd on hand, but what I was saying about the high school team is if they weren't playing, it would be even more impressive of a turnout. That's wrapped on the ground to Bartlett at third. He'll go to second for 1, and that'll be it. As, again, a hard slide into second breaks up any chance of a double play, and so it does score a run. It's an RBI ground out, and it's 2-0 New Prague.
Again, just getting that ball in play, making these fielders, field the ball, make the plays, and New Prague running hard, not allowing them to get doubled up.
So McBroom standing at first now for Dan Ring. Furness and Bergman both erased on putouts at second. But Ring, the first baseman, stands in as they'll check on the runner at first. But it isn't, make no mistake, it is an impressive turnout here tonight, as it always is on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. That's smoked into center field. A little bit of a difficulty with the sun for Bartlett, but he eventually comes in and makes the catch to retire the side. 1 inning in the books here at Memorial Park in New Prague. 2-0 Orioles after 1.
Well done, gentlemen. And Bill. more of those hats? Okay. It's fabulous. Just have to download the Fox 9 app.
Or YouTube.
I don't know what the actual link is. It's just the Fox 9 YouTube. Is it on your sports website too?
I think you just go to fox9.com.
I looked around earlier and it wasn't hard to find.
Okay, it was right there on the page.
Ben Moran, the shortstop, leads things off in the second inning for Waterville, and he takes a pitch high and inside for ball one. 4, 5, and 6 in the order here in the second for the Indians. Against Jake Deutsch, who had an RBI single and also has yet to allow a base runner. Here's the pitch, and that is roped down the left field line, but foul off the end of the bat from Baran.
Update on the big club here in Minnesota, the Twins tonight. Not doing well against the New York Yankees, but Royce Lewis continues to do well. He just homered again.
Oh,
so he's
man.
the first Twins player to homer in his first 3 games to start a season.
That's amazing. As Baran hits that on the ground is short, Schmidt's up with it. Over to first, second put out recorded by him today, and 4 batters and 4 groundouts so far, Jim.
So if the Twins could just clone Royce and get 8 more, they would take care of the Yankees no problem.
Exactly.
But you were talking about the Town Ball Tour and how it began with Fox 9. As we get the pitch here, is
Low to
foul ball there.
Yep.
He jammed him on the inside.
I believe that is Nolan Gross. They just wrote down the number wrong, so I think it's number 2, Nolan Gross, at bat. Thanks for picking up the play-by-play slack for me, Jim, as that is smoked over the head of the shortstop and into left center field, the first base runner, the first base hit of the night for Waterville.
But as we were saying, we started this, quite a few years ago now. We've been to over 50 ballparks, and we really didn't know how it would go over with today's modern society where it's all about your phone and videos and quick response and interaction. But people seem to enjoy kind of turning back the clock.
Yeah, there's something very pure about town ball for sure. So runner at first, and standing in now Dalton Gross, brother of Nolan. Bill Hupp and Jim Rich coming to you from Memorial Park here in New Prague on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour, the first stop on the 2024 Summer Tour, as that is taken for a called strike. And, yeah, we had some major storms blow through New Prague that delayed the start of the game slightly, but now, Jim, it really couldn't be a nicer night. 65 and sunny at first pitch.
Exactly. And like you said, when you're looking for a great night to enjoy these short summers in Minnesota, this is right up there, coming to a ballpark and catching a little town ball. The food is always great at these concession stands. It's all homemade. Prices are respectable. It's great all the way around.
Yeah, and like the hot dogs and hamburgers today, for instance, were purchased from a local meat market. So it's just local community. It's everything you want in one of these events. As that is lofted into center field. McBroom drifting over to left center field, and he'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. I've been fortunate to call these games at St. Patrick, not far from here.
Sure.
And in Green Isle, also not terribly far from here.
Cologne had ridiculously good cheese curds.
Okay.
Because that was fresh from the dairy farmer just down the road.
Nice.
Brings them in on game day. Oh, they were awesome. The hot dogs here are great.
Yes.
And they're only $3.
Unbelievable.
Can't
Yeah.
get that at Target Field.
That's why it's, it's all part of this sort of throwback experiences. That is popped up right side, or left side rather, and Bergman puts the squeeze on it to retire the side. So Deutsch allows a hit, strands a runner after an inning and a half. Still 2-0 Orioles here on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. Bottom of the second inning about to get going here from Memorial Park in New Prague. Bill Hupp and Jim Rich here on Fox9.com and the Fox 9 app. Thank you for joining us. As second baseman Bo Plaisance will lead off. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 in the order. The second baseman, shortstop, and catcher due up here in the second for the Orioles. Last I checked anyway, in the early season rankings, New Prague was in the others receiving votes, so just outside the top 10. And, of course, they have some Trojans from the high school team that will be joining them as well for the summer months. Here's the pitch. Taken low and outside, and the count's even at 1 apiece. Not a bad high school venue, too, if you get to play here.
Yeah, absolutely. And they said that there's 30 New Prague kids between the teams that are around here, because this is Class C, so you have to live 30 miles from home plate.
Right.
That's how they determine your status. Well, there's several teams in the area, and somebody told me there's 30 New Prague. 130? Oh, there's 100 New Prague kids between St. Patrick, West Union, here, Vesley. It's a heck of a factory. So wonder if they have NIL money for those New Prague kids yet.
They pay them in local cheeseburgers, Jim.
Yeah.
That's what it is. 2-2 the count on Plaisance. Second baseman's been heavily involved in the action so far. Here's the pitch from Selner. And he swings and misses, and he'll be tagged out. First strikeout of the game recorded by either pitcher, and there's one down in the inning. That's the other thing that's actually kind of nice in a weird way. What I've noticed from having done town ball games for the last several years is you have some games where there's a lot of strikeouts, but there's a lot more balls in play sometimes than you see as Selner drops down and fires that one low to the shortstop, Ben Schmitz.
No, these pitchers aren't hitting triple digits, so
Nope.
you got a chance to put the ball in play here.
So it's more of your sort of classic defense and action as that's swung on and missed. Watch, as soon as I say that, Jimmy, he'll strike out the side. That's what'll happen. Here's the pitch. Taken high for a ball. Shadows starting to get long here in New Prague. High school team, incidentally, 1-1 with Farmington and that rain delay in the bottom of the 6th. Schmitz fans at that one, and it's 2-2. Big thanks to our producer, Logan Anderson, and to our cameraman, Curtis Gilan. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Taken low and outside. Logan, the mastermind behind this whole operation. And also a pretty fine broadcaster in his own right. That one by Schmitz is dumped into left center field for a one-out base hit. So Schmitz, who's recorded 3 or 4 putouts already, has got a single. He's had a nice start to this game as Anthony Mater, the catcher, strides to the plate.
That was a nice at bat. He worked a full count, got out of that, I think it was 0-2 or 1-2, and got himself out there and then got something he could handle.
Yep. Selner once again having to pitch from the stretch as he delivers, and it's taken at the knees, which Mater didn't like, and it did look a little low, to be fair. New Prague right now, 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors. Waterville, no runs on a hit and no errors. Selner checks the runner and throws over to first. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed as he chased an outside breaking ball. Well, Selner's, like you said, Jim, Selner's off-speed stuff has been working for him tonight.
Yep. But anytime he tries to sneak a fastball in there, New Prague has been waiting for him.
And Selner misses low and outside with that one. One and two the count with a runner leading from first base. That one missing low and outside, and the count's even 2-2. I asked Waterville's manager, by the way, and he reported no high school kids on the team as of right now.
Okay.
Or here tonight, anyway. Called strike 3 on the inside corner, and Mater goes down looking on strikes.
Yeah, he knew it.
Second strikeout of the inning, he did.
Just walked away. Said, all right, that was a good pitch. You win this battle. I'll get you next time.
Turns it over for the top of the order, and Eric Wagner, the right fielder, he hit a shot to left center field for a leadoff double and then came around to score. So he's 1 for 1 with a run. 2 out, 1 on, and they nearly picked Schmitz off, nearly caught him leaning, but he's back safely. Swung on and missed, a wicked cut by Wagner. Hey, nearly caught him again. He's got a pretty quick pickoff move over there. He sort of looks and looks and looks and then kind of does it quick, but Schmitz has been back both times. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Oh, he had him way out in front of that one. 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and Wagner goes down on strikes, so Selner strikes out the side after having pitched around a one-out single by Schmitz. 2 in the books here at Memorial Park in New Prague on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. 2-0 Orioles. I questioned myself as I said that.
I don't know. I'm not saying that it's criticism. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because you still recorded all 3 outs via strike.
The side. I don't know.
This is the thanks I get for complimenting
That
the
means
broadcast.
no. I told you it wasn't criticism. I said I wasn't sure. I'm curious.
I'm going to text him. I don't know. I don't actually know. Here it is. Dumb question. This is the
Never mind.
they light up. They're supposed to light up. Yeah. Designated hitter Nolan Wetzel leads things off here in the 3rd inning for Waterville. Still looking for their first run as he looks at a called strike. Very little sun left on the field now. 1-1 the count. Here's the pitch from Deutsch, and it's fouled on back. Look out in the crowd. It'll be the designated hitter, Wetzel, Gannon, the left fielder, and then the top of the order in Bartlett. Here's a pitch from Deutsch. Inside, and it's 2-2. Do you have a favorite baseball, town ball stadium in the state, Jim?
Ooh,
There's
boy.
so many good ones.
I know. I like the old ballparks, just because of the history and the ones where the guys have to take care of the field. That's what I think is just another charming aspect of town ball, that you're out there dragging the field at 11 o'clock at night. You got to get up for work the next morning. But the boys will love the sport that much that they'll get out there. I mean, the Redbirds and Isanti, we were up there.
Ooh. Gannon hit by the first pitch after Wetzel struck out looking. So second base runner of the game for Waterville. But yeah, like you were saying, it's a labor of love, really.
Absolutely.
And they just do it because there's a pride with with a lot of these sort of small town fields. I mean, who would ever thought that Meesville would have a field, one of the best crown jewel fields in the state?
Yep. And then you look at St. Patrick, what they did a deal with the church for that land because it was too swampy. They were going to put the cemetery there, I think is what the story was. And they talked him into saying, well, could we play baseball on that after church on Sundays? And that's why that ballpark is located right next to the church.
I did not know that story, but that's tremendous. Runner goes, throw down to second, is bounced into center field. So stolen base for Gannon. Now the Indians have a runner in scoring position. Yeah, that town ball is full of those kind of stories.
Yep, a lot of times they'll build the ballparks, and it's guys that donate equipment and come in, from the farms with the tractors and the skid steers, and they'll do a lot of the field work themselves. I know a guy that can't remember what town we were in, but he, before going to work in the morning, he'd swing by, turn the sprinklers on to water the outfield, and then he'd take a break about 9:30, come back and move the hoses, and then his lunch he'd come back and shut it all down.
Yeah, that kind of thing, that kind of selflessness, just amazing dedication. And you can just tell, looking at a field like this, how lovingly maintained it is.
Yeah, the city really stepped up, but it was
On the ground, Deutsch couldn't handle it. Schmitz can't either. And there's going to be runners at the corners with one out. Deutsch sort of backhand swiped at it, missed it, and then Schmitz picked his head up. And
I don't know if he would have got him anyways, because it was such a slowed down, I think, by the pitcher. By the time it got to short, I don't think even if he picked it cleanly, I don't think he would have been able to throw him out.
Well, they're going to give him an error
Did
anyway.
they?
E6. No home field scoring
Tough
here.
crowd
Jim.
here.
So E6 has Bartlett at first, and that brings up Josh Cook. He grounded out to the aforementioned Schmitz. So now a real scoring chance for the Indians, who trail by 2 here in the third. Bill Hupp and Jim Rich with you. We're on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour on fox9.com and the Fox 9 app. Off the end of the bat, lofted to left field. Furness camps under it. He'll make the catch. The runner tags. They won't try. Waterville plates its first run of the game on a sacrifice fly.
Well, Furness elected not even to try to gun that runner down that was going from third to home. Instead, he wanted to keep that runner at first and letting him grab an extra base. Just threw it into second.
Probably the smart play as Bartlett remained at first. So brings up Luke Selner, who grounded out to the third baseman Bergman in his first plate appearance. 2-1 our score now, New Prague in front. Deutsch still pitching from the stretch, and he pumps across a strike. I'm assuming Minnesotans know this, but myself not being from Minnesota, I wonder if, A, I'm not sure how many people outside of Minnesota know about the whole town ball thing, and B, I don't know that Minnesotans know, or maybe they do, how special it is and how unique it is to Minnesota.
Well, people that have grown up in the Twin Cities really don't understand it. They haven't been out in these farming communities. You know, that's where things were, and that's where it all began. And that ends the inning as well.
It does.
We'll save that story, as they say, for the next inning.
Yes. 2 strikeouts recorded in the inning by Deutsch, but Waterville does play to run. They leave a runner after 2.5 innings. 2-1, New Prague.
I think we're going to turn the crowd mic down a little bit anyway.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
So, but yeah. So you do what you want.
Starting pitcher Jake Deutsch leads things off here in the bottom of the third for New Prague. And he looks at a ball low and outside. Deutsch, a ringing RBI single in his first plate appearance, and he came around to score. 2-1 our score here in the bottom of the third. We're on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour, stop number 1 here at Memorial Park in New Prague. I will confess, though,
Yes?
definitely when I moved here from Chicago in 2015, called it New Prague, as you do when you don't know. And it was quickly corrected.
There's a lot of places in this state that you need to hear somebody tell you what it is.
Yep, and as Deutsch will loft that over the shortstop's head in front of the left fielder for a leadoff single here in the top of the third. For a leadoff single in the bottom of the third, I should say. So Deutsch 2 for 2 now on the evening. Gavin Bergman, the third baseman, he also singled. Just the first 3 hitters got to Sellner. And sometimes, Jim, it takes a few batters for a pitcher to settle in.
Well, and these aren't major league pitchers, right? They
Right.
don't spend all day getting themselves prepped. Probably got home, fed the dog, and jumped in the car, grabbed a burger on the way over to the ballpark, and started throwing heat.
Yep, for sure. As Sellner pitching again from the stretch. Fires in a strike. Fastball.
They're giving him the low strike calls.
Yeah.
Those are prevalent. If he could keep it down there and still get the call, that's where he can work that fastball.
Yeah, cheese at the knees, as they say.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Gives him that strike call as well. Bergman disagreeing.
I've heard high cheese before, but never cheese at the knees.
Cheese at the knees. Well, I'm going to give credit to Jim DeShays, the Cubs color analyst. I watch a lot of Cubs games,
Okay.
and he uses that from time to time. 2-1 our score. Waterville with a run on 1 hit and no errors. New Prague with 2 runs on 5 hits and an error. It's wrapped on the ground to short. They're thinking 2 to second for 1 on to first. Not in time. Good hustle out of the box there by Bergman to limit it to a 6-4 fielder's choice. So Bergman replaces Deutsch. There's 1 out in the inning. And that brings up James Furness. Furness wrapped into a fielder's choice after nearly going yard. Just foul as he looks at a called strike. You think Sellner remembers that? Trying to be careful with him now?
I wouldn't give him anything. It went out in the pine trees down the left field line.
Loose in the dirt, but a good block out in front by Mellstrom, who's had a couple nice blocks here tonight. Well, I may be biased, but I think anyone with a beard should be respected and has real power potential in the box. Furness playing left field tonight. He takes a pitch outside. 2-1.
Looks like he's got a lightsaber or something with that orange bat.
Not quite matching his jersey, but pretty close as he bends away from that one.
I'm sure he doesn't have a tough time finding his bat in the rack.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Orange could be his favorite color. You never know. Fouls that one on back. Had a good cut at it. Tell you what, that home plate ump can sling it a little bit as well. Put a little mustard on that throw back to the pitcher. Count is full on the cleanup hitter for the Orioles, with a runner at first and 1 out. Sellner sets and delivers, and it's shot to right field, a base hit. Bergman will jog into second base, but a good piece of hitting by Furness, who gets his first base knock of the afternoon. So runners now at first and second for Tommy McBroom. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Jim.
No, I was just going to admit that may be a win for the Waterville pitcher. Just let him have a single.
Well, what are the odds, Jim, that there is a McBroom on the bench for Waterville and a McBroom in the starting lineup for 2 McBrooms, 1 on each team? Dallas McBroom sitting, starting off on the bench for Waterville tonight. I tell you what, Jim, we can have a McBroom versus McBroom matchup, later on in the game, and we can call it a sweepstakes.
Oh, that is good. You come with a lot of A material here for the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. We appreciate this.
Yes. Tip your waiters. I wrote my jokes beforehand. And all Logan can do is hang his head. 1-1 the count with runners at first and second. Wrapped on the ground to the right side, charging the second baseman. He looks at the runner. Well, has no play, so he flips it. Cook does to Gross, and they'll take the out. Runners now move into scoring position at second and third. So 4-3 on the putout, and it effectively works as a sacrifice, moves the runners up a base.
Correct. Big spot here.
Dan Ring flew out to center field to end the first inning. And he looks at a fastball over the middle for strike one. We're in the press box here at Memorial Park, and we're sort of on the side. So not exactly a behind-the-plate vantage point, but plenty good. As that one's inside, and it's 1-1. And crucially screened in, so no mosquitoes.
That is a bonus, except the back door is wide open behind us. And there is no screen on that.
Ring shoots it up the middle, in between, right past the second base bag. That'll score two, and New Prague doubles its lead. It's now 4-1 Orioles. A clutch, 2-out, 2 RBI base knock for Dan Ring. And Jim, right there, that was just a nice piece of hitting, going right back up the middle with it.
Yeah, there was nobody there. The fielders left that gap open over second base, and he was able to get it past the mound and into the grass in center field. And with 2 outs, both runners were off on contact. And so they now have a 4-1 advantage to the hometown Orioles.
Yeah, great point by you. Runners going on contact. 7 hits now for New Prague through the first 2 2/3 innings. Bo Plassat's up. He struck out swinging to lead off the second, and he looks at a called strike there over the outside corner. Two outs and a runner at first. And Plassat's comes up empty on that one. Selner sets. Here's a 1-2 pitch. He drops down, and Plassat's wraps it on the ground to third. Bartlett charging up with it over to first. Good snag at first by Gross. And the inning is over. But New Prague tacks on 2 more with 3 hits. They leave a man. 3 in the books here in New Prague on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. 4-1 our score. Ben Baran does just like he did in the second inning. He leads off the fourth inning. And Jackson Shurik, the new pitcher for New Prague. Nice job by Jake Deutsch in his 3 innings. Just a run on 1 hit. 2 strikeouts. A hit by pitch, but no walks. So good good start by Jake Deutsch.
Then is the run he gave up unearned, right? Because they called that an error, didn't they?
Yes.
So
yes, that's right.
He did well.
Shurik rocks and fires and misses outside. Baran grounded out to the shortstop Schmitz in his lone plate appearance. Off the end of the bat, good pick by Bergman over to first, and then the throw can't be handled by Ring. And the press box waits with bated breath to see if that's ruled an error. It is ruled an error. I'm going to say E5. Okay, you always give it to the guy who throws it, I guess. So Baran reaches on E5, second error of the game on the New Prague infield. That was a great pick, Jim, but
I think he was almost surprised he got it because he had kind of the glove down and just kind of tried to olay it, and all of a sudden it was right there, and he's like, oh, hey, look at this, and then kind of took a little bit off his throw.
Yeah.
Because he had so much time because it got right to him on 1 hop.
Yeah, it was a rocket as that one is wrapped on the ground to first. They look to second. No play there as Nolan Gross grounds out. Gross now 1 for 2 after that 3 unassisted play by Ring. So his brother Dalton Gross comes up now. Dalton Gross flew out to the center fielder as Mater is going to jog out to talk to his pitcher, Shurik. Our score here in the top of the 4th. First stop in the 2024 Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. And it's not just, for those who don't know, it's not just the game, Jim, that gets broadcast. It's a whole day of programming and feature stories. What all goes into the production?
Well, it starts with the Fox 9 Morning News. Saquon was out here this morning hanging out at some of the establishments in town, just trying to give everybody a feel of what New Prague is all about. And as you said, just like the teams, all these communities and cities and towns have their own story of how they've become so successful. And that's part of it. And then we do our 5 o'clock news here through 7 o'clock at the ballpark, talk to the players, managers, town officials, and mayor. They always seem to want to pop on the camera. Those politicians, you know.
Smoked into center field, coming on and making a fine running catch is McBroom to rob Dalton Gross, who flies out to McBroom for the second time tonight. Just hung up a little bit, as the old White Sox announcer Hawk Harrelson would call it, a hang with him.
Hawk is, he was legendary.
Yes.
Not well liked here in Minnesota.
No, he was a character, all right. Shurik now pitching from the stretch with the runner at second, and he wheels and forces a dive back by Baran. Jack Maelstrom, the catcher, is up. He fouled out really to the third baseman Bergman. Here's a pitch by Shurik. It's over for a called strike. Bottom of the 8th, 1-1 between Farmington and New Prague. Is that one over for a called strike as well, and the count is 0-2. So there are an extra innings in the Section 1 championship game, championship series. Good pick there by the catcher, Mater. Seen some good catching play today, Jim. Good defensive catching.
I'm sure if you're the catcher at this level, you get a lot of crazy things you got to deal with back there.
That one wrapped on the ground to first. Plenty of time for Ring to get there. And the side is retired. Leadoff error doesn't amount to anything. One left on base. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 4-1 New Prague on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. Bottom of the fourth about to begin here from New Prague's Memorial Park, and Ben Schmitz, the shortstop, leads off. He's 1 for 1. And first pitch swinging, lofts it out to right field. Coming over, the center fielder in right center field makes the catch. Bartlett puts it away for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Brings up Anthony Motter, who struck out looking in his only plate appearance. Fox 9 Town Ball Tour continues next time from Eden Valley. It'll be the next stop on this year's tour.
That's an interesting ballpark, as it's also a football field.
So similar to Cannon Falls, right?
And the goalposts remain up during the season. So they apparently are in play. I'm interested to see just where they are.
There's got to be some bets involved, like go off the crossbar or whatever. Nice job ranging to his right by Baran. He makes a fantastic put out. Long throw from the deep in the hole at short.
And their high school team won a state championship last year, so we're going to have the coach and some of their players join us.
Oh, that'll be awesome. Eden Valley Watkins, right?
Yep. So we'll go out and meet under the goalpost and relive some of their memories, as well as the antics of their town ball team.
That'll be great. Eric Wagner, the leadoff hitter, takes a big rip. He's 1 for 2 today. Doubled and scored in the first, and he also struck out swinging in the second. Selner looking to record his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Inside, almost hit Wagner. Lights have fully taken effect now here as we
get close to sunset.
Approach the 9 o'clock hour. Wrapped on the ground, off the third base bag. Wagner rounds first, and actually he stumbles. Eats it, and hopefully he's okay. Comes up a little bit gingerly Otherwise, he might have had 2.
He was thinking 3 when he saw Karamov that bag. His eyes got big and tried to make that corner. Now he's checking out his knee.
Took an awkward tumble, and so they'll have a pinch runner.
But he's laughing as he's coming off. So.
Form of Austin Wilson. That's a kangaroo court kind of thing, Jim, right there.
Yep. He'll hear about that.
So Eric Wagner, 2 for 3 now. Just hit it far enough down the left field line to hit the bag, and then Ethan Bartlett rather, had no play. So that brings up Jake Deutsch, who started the game, 3 shutout innings. He's 2 for 2 with a run and an RBI. And if we had a Fox 9 Town Ball Tour player of the game, he'd probably be it right now.
Yeah, you can make it. We'll back you on it if you
That's
want to
true.
go for it.
Quickly, Logan, find a sponsor. It's
There'll be a sponsor, a banner. We'll run it on the newscast. You text me who it is, and I'll put it on the show
right.
at 10 o'clock.
That's right.
And
call now.
All complaints will be directed to you.
That's fine. You can at me. So that's taken on the outside corner for a strike.
I like it. Will there be merchandise involved for the player? A presentation after the game?
Yeah.
What do you guys got?
A commemorative Game Time Media watch.
Oh.
That's what that is. That's taken on the outside corner.
I like that.
Game Time Media, of course, the production company, founded and run by the fine Logan Anderson, who is producing this broadcast.
Does he always wear a watch?
He's a notorious watch wearer, yes.
So is he on time?
Expensive taste,
Is
too.
he on time then?
He is. He's much more on time than I am. I run on bill time, according to him.
Okay.
That means 20 minutes late. The 2-2 pitch. Deutsch looks low and outside. Put it this way, Jim. When we're meeting at 7:30, he tells me we're meeting at 7:10 because he knows I'll be there. Then I'll be there at 7:30.
The human rain delay, yes.
Sellner's 2-2 pitch, and Deutsch loops it into right center field, gets down in front of Bartlett. First to third now for New Prague as the pinch runner Austin Wilson read that well off the bat, Jim. Rounded second and reached third. So now there's 2 on with 2 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
All right, well, I'm going to have to duck out because it's 8:56, which means Fox 9 News at 9 starts in 4 minutes. And unlike you, they're not happy if I'm 20 minutes late.
Well, Jim, it was a pleasure. Thanks for joining us on the broadcast.
Thanks for you guys joining this. I think people will really enjoy watching these games on the stream that can't come out and see them. And I think they'll live there as well. So if these guys want to watch the game back later, it'll probably be archived on our website or perhaps your guys' website. Ours? All right, we'll take it.
Yes, that sweepstakes
we need
joke
more
will
content.
Live forever.
And I look forward to the player of the game as well.
Yes, sir. Take care.
All right, thank you.
It's the fine sports anchor for Fox 9, Jim Rich. We thank him for joining us for the first 3.5 innings of this ball game. Now you're stuck with me the rest of the way. One and one the count with 2 out. There is no pitch clock in town balls, so we could be here at midnight. 4 runs on 9 hits and 2 errors for New Prague. 1 run on a hit for Waterville. Close for Sellner, but he missed outside. He wanted that one. 1-2 the count. Gavin Bergman today is 1 for 2 with a run. Runner goes, Bergman swings and misses to end the inning. 2 hits, 2 left, no runs though in the inning for New Prague. After 4 innings of play here at Memorial Park, it's 4-1 Orioles here on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. Nolan Wetzel, the designated hitter, leads off the top of the fifth for Waterville. Wetzel struck out looking to start the third. Indians thus far with just one hit. One run on one hit. As Jackson Shurik begins Wetzel with a ball. Second inning of relief for Shurik as that one misses low and inside. Wetzel, Gannon, and Bartlett, top of the order, due up for the Indians. That one over for a called strike. Waterville, 1 run on a hit, no errors. New Prague, 4 runs on 9 hits and 2 errors. 3-1 the count as Shurik tries not to lose the leadoff hitter. Here's the wind of the pitch. Swung on and missed. Missed on the breaking ball. Well, after the rain we had around 6:30 tonight, it's been clear and pretty beautiful ever since. That one over for a called strike 3. Breaking ball caught the outside corner. 1 out here in the top of the fifth. Brings up the left fielder, Tom Gannon. He scored the lone run of the game. Really manufactured as he was hit by a pitch. Stole second and then came around to score on a sac fly RBI by Josh Cook. Bottom of the order here for Waterville. He's late on the fastball from Shurik. Beautiful night for baseball here in New Prague. Here's the pitch. Over at the knees for a called strike. Shurik working quickly and throwing strikes. Here's the pitch. High and outside for ball 1. Bergman in on the grass at third, anticipating a possible bunt. Here's the pitch. Shurik looked like he lost his footing there. He kind of looks down at his landing spot. Misfires on the pitch, so it's 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Bounced in, it's 3-2. The 3-2 to Gannon. And he takes a walk. Kind of a running start. Shurik thought maybe it was there, but saying it was low. So second time today, second reach today for Gannon. This time via the free pass. Brings up Braden Bartlett, the center fielder. Grounded out to Ring at first and also reached on an error by the shortstop Schmitz. And he looks at a pitch that is close but just misses. Gannon stole a base in the second inning. We'll see if he's running this time. Kind of a slide step employed by the pitcher Shurik, so not much of an opportunity to get a big jump. 1-1 the count, 1 out and 1 on here in the top of the fifth. Shurik sets. Here's the pitch. Runner goes, and it's swung on and hit to center field. Drifting back, McBroom. He's got it. And the runner, Gannon, returns to first base. So a fly out by Bartlett to McBroom in center field. And that brings up the second baseman, Josh Cook. Cook 0 for 1 here tonight with a sac fly RBI in the third. So the lone RBI of the game, courtesy of Cook. Gannon leads from first. Now check on the runner. No activity in the Waterville bullpen at the moment, so Sellner should stay out there. Check on the runner again. Runner goes outside, no chance. Second stolen base of the night for Gannon. The pitch was outside, and that kind of resulted in a low sort of sidearm slung throw that bounced in the grass, and Gannon had that stolen easily. Speedster batting in the nine slot tonight, 2 reaches and 2 stolen bases. So now Gannon in scoring position for Cook, and that pitch misses outside, and it's 2-0. Big thanks to Jim Rich, Fox 9 sports anchor, for joining us for the first half of this game. The 2-0 pitch. Cook laces it into left field. They'll wave home the runner. The throw to the plate beats the runner, and he's tagged out. An absolute pill thrown by Furness from left field. Cuts down the runner at home trying to score to retire the side. A walk, no runs, nobody left on base. To the bottom of the 5th we go. New Prague in control, 4-1 over Waterville here on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. James Furness just threw out Tom Gannon trying to score from second. And now he picks up his orange bat and climbs in. He's 1 for 1 today with a single and a fielder's choice. Scored a run in the third. And he looks at a pitch bounced in by Sellner, who's starting his 5th inning of work. Nobody up in the Waterville bullpen as of yet. Here's the pitch. That one outside. Yeah, Furness threw an absolute seed from left field to cut down the speedy Gannon trying to score. Beat the runner in plenty of time. And Furness belts it into center field. A leadoff single for the cleanup hitter. Second consecutive base knock for Furness. Brings up Tommy McBroom, the center fielder. McBroom with 2 groundouts today, including an RBI groundout. And it doesn't matter that they didn't have anyone warming up in the bullpen because I think they're going to make a pitching change. Indeed, the manager is taking the baseball. Manager Rick Selner taking it from his son and handing it to someone who's not his son. Handing it to Nolan Gross, who I believe is the son of the Hall of Fame former manager in Joe Gross. So how's that for some continuity? Nolan Gross will take over for Luke Selner. And he'll get his warm-up pitches. Four runs on 10 hits and 2 errors tonight for New Prague. A run on 2 hits for Waterville. Ooh, drama in Dundas as New Prague, the high school team, is up 2-1 in the section championship game against Farmington. And were they to hang on, they would move on to the state championship, defeating the top-ranked, top-seeded Tigers. I don't know about top-ranked. I probably just made that up. Top-seeded Tigers. Let's go with it. Long-time powerhouse, Farmington Tigers. But so is New Prague, obviously, Class 3A champions in 2023, I believe. So first year in Class 4A this year, right? Oh, they've been bouncing up and down. Ben Boothie is pinch running, and Tommy McBroom, the center fielder, who's had a lot of action defensively tonight, strides in. McBroom, like we said, grounded out twice. He's 0 for 1, or 0 for 2, rather, with an RBI. Kind of a sidearm sling from Nolan Gross. Gross was out in right field. And he misses inside, and it's 2-0. Technically an exhibition game, but like we said with Jim Rich, it doesn't feel like it. These two teams know each other well. They faced off in the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour in Waterville in 2022. Here's a pitch. Over for a called strike. 3-1 the count. 4-1 Waterville trails. Slide step from Gross, and it's wrapped on the ground. Foul. Low 60s, clear night here in New Prague. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Inside, and he walked him. Tommy McBroom reaches via passed ball, and that puts runners at first and second.
First baseman Dan Ring.
Brings up Dan Ring. And Ring looks at a called strike. Big hit by Ring in the third inning, a 2-out, 2 RBI single to stretch the lead to 4-1. He also flew out to the center fielder Bartlett in his first at bat. 1-1 the count as Nolan Gross looks in, gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Late on that fastball, and he fouls it on back. A lot of the kids have gone home, but still plenty of fans in attendance here at New Prague's Memorial Park. Like a lot of these town ball fields, just a beautiful facility. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Gross. Low and outside, 2-2. Beau Plaisance waits on deck. Here's the pitch. Late. Now there's a little bit of contention. The home plate umpire, I believe, is saying he tipped it, foul tipped it at the plate. So the runners will have to go back to second and first. So Ring stays alive. 2-2. Nolan Gross on in relief of Luke Selner. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, or tap foul at the plate. May have caught a piece of the catcher Maelstrom. So the count remains 2-2. Just 2 hits here tonight for Waterville. 10 hits for New Prague. Outside, ball 3. Gross wanted it, but just a bit outside. 2 on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th. 3-2 count on Dan Ring, the first baseman. Here's the pitch. Ring wraps it on the ground. Charging, bare hand, no play. Dan Ring with an infield single, and the bases are loaded with nobody out here in the 5th. They bring up the second baseman, Beau Plaisance, who is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Chance to break the game open right here for the Orioles. Nolan Gross can go back to pitching from the full windup with the bases loaded. Skipped in low for ball 1. Here's the pitch, and it's wrapped foul at the plate. You're watching the first game of the 2024 Town Ball Tour, Fox 9 Town Ball Tour, from New Prague's Memorial Park here on Fox9.com and the Fox 9 app. Here's the pitch from Gross, and Plaisance is late and tips it into the catcher's glove for strike 2. Bill Hupp flying solo. Jim Rich kind enough to join me for the first 4.5 innings. Plaisance looks at a low pitch, and it's 2-2. 11 hits here tonight for New Prague. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and Plaisance fists it over the shortstop's head into shallow left field. Station to station go the runners. Not the prettiest RBI, but they'll take it as Plaisance picks up his first hit of the game, an RBI single, and it's 5-1 Orioles. Furnace Kane comes in to score his second run of the game. So Plassance got jammed, but just enough, got just enough on it to loft it over Baran's head into left field. And the bases remain loaded for Ben Schmitz, the shortstop. Schmitz 1 for 2 today. Singled in the second, flew out to center field in the fourth. Waterville playing the infield in except at second base. Here's the pitch from Gross. Schmitz late on that one. Gross could really use a strikeout right about now. Still nobody out in the inning, and the base is loaded. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 2. Schmitz again late on that fastball, just overpowered by Gross, and it's 2-2. Runners take their leads. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's fouled straight back. The 2-2 pitch. Oh, wanted it close, just outside. It's 3-2. Good at bats here for New Prague here in the fifth. Schmitz has worked the count full. Gross's 3-2 pitch. And Schmitz shoots it down the right field line, but foul, just foul. Nine-hitter Anthony Motter would be next. Although it looks like there may be a pinch hitter on deck. Here's a 3-2 pitch from Gross. Swung on and missed. And he gets a big strikeout of Schmitz, blowing the fastball by him for the first out of the inning. That ends a streak of 4 straight Orioles to reach, and that brings up Anthony Motter. That pink bat. Still a good chance for New Prague to tack on some more runs as that delivery taken high for ball 1. Motter tonight is 0 for 2 himself. Struck out looking and also grounded out to the shortstop, Baran. Right to Baran here. He flips to second for 1. Over to first. Dug out beautifully. 6-4-3 to retire the side. But the Orioles do add another run. They leave them loaded, however. Through 5 innings of play here at Memorial Park. 5-1, New Prague. Evan Anderson now playing first base for New Prague as we get into the 6th inning of play. 3-4-5 in the order due up for Waterville. Luke Sellner, who started and is now DHing, steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight, and he takes the ball outside. Sellner grounded out to third and also struck out swinging to end the third. Third inning of work for Jackson Shurik, and he misses outside with a ball. 2-0. We talked about former Waterville manager Joe Gross as Sellner laid on that fastball. Joe Gross, 2 of his sons on the team in Nolan and Dalton. He's a Minnesota Amateur Baseball Hall of Famer, inducted a couple years ago. Longtime manager of Waterville. Sellner fans on that one. And it's 2-2. The 2-2 pitch from Shurik to Sellner. Ooh, almost rung him up, but 3 balls is the call. Just missed. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And Sellner blasts it to left field over the head of the left fielder, Furness. Sellner loping around first base, cruising into second with a stand-up leadoff double here in the 6th. Absolutely crushed that 3-2 offering from Shurik. Kind of off the end of the bat. If he'd barreled it up a little more, I think it might have been a homer, but as it stands, he's at second base in scoring position for Ben Baran, the shortstop. Baran reached on an error in his last plate appearance. Also grounded out to Schmitz in the 3rd. Very late on that fastball. 0-1. This is an exhibition game, like we said, but Waterville came in. It's their 5th game of the season. They came in with a record of 3-1 in games that counted. New Prague, came in with a record of 4-1. So 2 high-quality teams squaring off tonight, even though it's just an exhibition. Here's a pitch from Shurik, and he beans Baran. So Baran will reach for the 2nd time tonight via the hit by pitch, and that'll bring up Nolan Gross, who was the right fielder and is now the pitcher. He's 1 for 2, singled in the 2nd and also grounded out to the first baseman ring in the 4th. Waterville needs base runners, just 3 hits tonight through the first 5 innings. And Gross looks at a called strike. Sellner leads from second. Baran leads from first. Here's a pitch. And Gross takes a offering outside. We're on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour, stop number 1 in 2024 from New Prague's Memorial Park. Gross wraps it on the ground to Anderson at first. He steps on the bag. No play at second or third. Gross, I think he's a pull hitter. He singled the right field and then grounded out for the 2nd time tonight, unassisted, to the first baseman. This time Anderson gets involved in the game. Effectively acts as a sacrifice, though, as the runners move to 2nd and 3rd. And it's time for Dalton Gross to stand in. McBroom should look alive out there in center. Gross has flied out to him twice. 0 for 2 tonight officially. The 0-1 pitch. And it's bounced in, gets away from the catcher, Motter. They throw home. It skips away from Shurik, who's angry at himself for missing that, as Motter got it to Shurik in time, but he couldn't handle the hot throw. And Waterville picks up its 2nd run of the game. Sellner comes in from 3rd. Baran moves into scoring position at 3rd. And now a sacrifice fly if Gross does what he's done in his first 2 at-bats. which should plate another run for Waterville. And for as much as New Prague has seemingly dominated this game with 12 hits rather, they still only lead at 5-2. And Waterville could tack on one more, at least one more, with a runner at third and one out. Jack Maelstrom, the catcher, waits on deck. Here's a pitch from Shurik. Gross looks and holds and does not swing. Shortstop Buran leading off from third. Shurik now from the windup. Fans it past Dalton Gross. Takes a big cut. Here's the wind and the pitch. And it's ball four. The 3-2 offering just inside, so Dalton Gross reaches for the second time via the walk. Second walk for Shurik, rather, and now that's going to bring a visit from the pitching coach. Jack Maelstrom over 2, and we'll see if takes the ball from him or just talks. There's runners at the corners with just one out here in the 6th, and a 5-2 game. More of a defensive strategy conversation, I think, than anything else. Again, this is just an exhibition game, technically, but both teams clearly playing to win. And there is indeed going to be a pinch runner. As that is Sean Klugers. Sean Klugers will be the pinch runner for Dalton Gross. As Shurik again pitches from the stretch. First pitch swinging. Shortstop slides over, steps on the bag for one, on to first in time. A clutch double play turned 6-3 to get out of the inning and limit the damage. But Waterville does get a run back on a hit. They leave a man as well. To the bottom of the 6th we go here on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. 5-2. New Prague leads Waterville. Austin Wilson will get his first plate appearance for New Prague here in the bottom of the 6th. As he'll face Nolan Gross, who starts his first inning clean. And Wilson takes the ball outside. New Prague, through the first 5 innings, 5 runs on 12 hits and 2 errors. Waterville, 2 runs on 3 hits and no errors. The wind and fire from Gross blows a fastball by Wilson, and it's 0-2. 1-2, rather. Here's the 1-2 pitch. 2-2. New Prague with 2 in the first, 2 in the third, and 1 in the 5th. And this is low. It's 3-2. The full count. Pitch. On the ground. Baran charging, picks it, throws in time to retire the hustling Wilson for out number 1. 6-3 on the putout. Needed to charge the way that was hit. Jake Deutsch striding to the plate. What a game he's had. 3 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. Also pitched the first 3 innings. So Deutsch would be our as yet unsponsored player of the game. How big was that double play turned by the Orioles? Kept the game 5-2 as Deutsch shoots it into right field, coming on and making the catch after a awkward route for out number 2. Hit solidly by Deutsch the other way, but no luck for him as he flies out to the right fielder for the second out of the inning. Brings up Aiden Dorzinski. First time he's been at the dish. Gavin Bergman had been hitting in the 3 spot. Dorzinski out there now. 1-1 the count with 2 out. Gross would love a 3 up, 3 down inning. Dorzinski goes off the catcher for strike 2. This is a battle in Class C. Of course, there's Class A, B, and C in Minnesota Amateur Baseball. Here's a pitch by Gross. Inside for ball 2. Gross working quickly, fires, and it's swung on by Dorzinski and looped into right center field. Coming out, and it'll fall. The Bermuda Triangle out there in between second, center and right field. Cook came out trying to get it, but it dropped in. And we'll bring up Ben Boothie, also getting his first plate appearance. So a 2-out single there for number 8, Aiden Dorzinski. And Boothie looks at a called strike. Each team obviously in this Fox 9 Town Ball Tour game emptying the benches, trying to get some of the subs a few innings. Still a pretty good crowd on hand as we near the 10 o'clock mark. The pitch taken low by Boothie. Here's a pitch by Gross as the runner goes. Throw down to second. Dorzinski had that swiped cleanly. Dorzinski proving that you don't have to be a spring chicken to run like one. Runner leads from second as Grossi delivers, and Boothie hits it to left field. Drifting over is Gannon. He's there for the third out of the inning. New Prague doesn't score any runs. They leave her in. We go to the bottom of the. We're through 6 innings here at New Prague's Memorial Park here on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. 6 innings of play in the books. New Prague 5, Waterville 2.
It's the volume. Okay.
Simon Kyer, the new pitcher for New Prague, here in the top of the 7th inning, as the Orioles look to close out a victory here at home on the first game of the 2024 Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. Bill Hutt, producer Logan Anderson, cameraman Curtis Guyland, Jolyn, rather. We're all pros here. Fox9.com and the Fox 9 app. As Nolan Wetzel, the designated hitter, stands in against Simon Kyer, the third pitcher of the game for New Prague. Wetzel, 0 for 2, struck out looking twice today. Kyer, a right-handed pitcher, kind of short arms it up there. Double barrel action in the bullpen for Waterville. Kyer misses inside, and it's 3-0. Kyer misses with that one, and it's a 4-pitch walk to his first batter. And that was actually Tyler Brecky who drew that walk. So now it's Brody Baran, as Tom Glennon's day appears to be done. Brother Ben plays shortstop, as Kyer has fired 5 straight balls to start his relief appearance. Now just one man throwing for Waterville, as that is bounced in low. Bergman in on the grass for New Prague. Runner leads from first. Here's the pitch. Taken low and outside. Ball 3 rather. 7 straight balls to start the night for Simon Kyer. Kyer finds the strike zone there. 3-1. Don't forget the next stop on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour for 2024 will be Eden Valley. Late on that swing by Baran, and the count's full. They'll have conversations, Jim Rich and company will, with members of the Eden Valley Watkins football team that won a state championship last year at the U.S. Bank. I almost said the Dome, U.S. Bank Stadium. It's kind of dome-like. That one low, and so the first 2 base runners here in the top of the 7th have reached via the free pass, and that's going to draw a visit from the pitching coach. Try to settle Simon Kyer down as Braden Bartlett will stride to the plate. Bartlett today reached on an air. He's also grounded out to the first baseman and flown out to McBroom. So officially 0 for 2. Kyer pitching from the stretch, misses outside. Winner take all tomorrow night in Dundas between Farmington and New Prague, the high school teams in Section 1 for the Section 1 championship. Had a good one tonight. Kyer misses that one outside. 2-0. He has struggled to find the strike zone. Runners take their leads, and that hits Bartlett to load the bases. And we'll see if New Prague decides to make a move. They only lead at 5-2 here in the 7th, and the bases are loaded with nobody out for Josh Cook. A real opportunity here for the Indians. And I don't know about you, but there's nothing more I want to do than play extra innings. Here's the pitch from Kyer. Bounced in, gets away from the catcher, but the runners hold. Luke Selner would be next. And actually, I think it's going to be Sean Klughers. Cook looks at a called strike on the outside corner. 5-2 the score, top of the 7th. Waterville threatening with the bases loaded and nobody out. And he fouls it on back. 0-2 on Cook. Cook trying to deliver something delicious here for Waterville. And he swings and misses a big pitch for Kyer, a massive strikeout. And there's one down in the inning. Had him fooled on a breaking ball. Brings up number 29, Sean Klughers. Now, beg your pardon, Colby Fessel. And that is taken on the outside corner for a strike. Oh, 0-2 as Kyer can't do anything but throw strikes now. Here's the pitch. And Fessel shoots it off the end of the bat. A slow roller charging Plaisance. He'll flip it to first. But Waterville able to move the runners up and score a run to make it 5-3. Brecky races in from third, so job done by Fessel as Ben Baran, the shortstop, climbs in. Fessel with an RBI ground out, 4-3 on the putout. Baran tonight, 0 for 1. Grounded out to the shortstop, reached on an error, reached on a hit by pitch. Got runners at second and third with his team down by 2. And Kyer misses inside, high and tight with that one. Waterville just 3 hits tonight, but they've got 3 runs. Meanwhile, New Prague 13 hits. And Baran shoots it into left field, a base hit. That's going to score 2 runs and tie this ball game here in the top of the 7th. Ben Baran, a 2-out, 2 RBI single, and we're tied at 5.
Now batting, Nolan Gross.
Becky and Bartlett come in to score. As Nolan Gross stands in. Gross 1 for 3 tonight. He singled and grounded out twice to the first baseman. That one just missed. Nice snag by the catcher, Motter. Waterville with 3 runs here in the 7th inning. A little bit of wildness from the new relief pitcher for the Orioles. And that shot back up the middle past the shortstop for another base hit. Nolan Gross with his second single of the night. Baran at second, and that will be it for Simon Kyer. As they're going to bring in another right-hander. Looks like it's going to be number 29, Brody Isley. So Brody Isley takes over for Simon Kyer, after Kyer surrendered 3 runs on 2 walks and a hit by pitch, and then an RBI ground out and a 2 RBI single for Ben Baran, the shortstop. The first 3 batters reached, and then a couple clutch hits here for Waterville have tied this game at 5. And it'll be Dalton Gross, I believe, who will hit next. Or this might be Kluger's. We'll see. There's 2 out in the inning. New Prague trying to let this one not get away from them, or set up for a dramatic victory.
Brody Isley.
Jason Schneider is up. So Schneider with his first plate appearance. And that one misses low and outside from Brody Isley. 4th pitcher of the night on for New Prague. 5 runs on 5 hits for Waterville. Isley pumps across the strike. Trying to get out of this 7th inning and keep this a tie ball game. Here's the 1-1 from Isley. Fastball blows it right by Schneider. First plate appearance tonight for Jason Schneider. Waterville was down 5-1 at one point. And it's now 5-5. Here's the pitch. Low and outside from Isley. 2-2 the count with 2 out and 2 on. His pitch from Isley, called strike 3 on the outside corner. So Brody Isley comes in and does the job for the Orioles. But not before Waterville ties this game with 3 runs, taking advantage of some wildness and a couple clutch hits. They leave to head to the bottom of the 7th. It's a whole new ball game here in New Prague. 5-5 on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. Pitch hitter Derek Austin leads things off here in the bottom of the 7th for the Orioles. Game is tied 5-5. Despite the Orioles out hitting the Indians 13-5. First pitch swinging for Austin. Bouncing ball to short. Baran up with it. Charging. Throwing. 1 pitch. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Both shortstops, especially Baran, have made some fine plays today. 6-3 on that put up. Brings up Evan Anderson. Anderson playing first base now that Ring is out. Breaks his bat as that's hit to third. Bartlett up with it. Looping throw to first in plenty of time for out number 2.
Now batting, Jacob Motter.
Brings up Jacob Motter. Plaisant's day is done. 2 out, nobody on for Motter, whose brother has caught tonight. And he looks at a called strike from Nolan Gross. A pitch taken inside, and it's 1-1. Gross working quickly, which we are all thankful for. Motter shoots it over the shortstop's head into left center field. Takes an aggressive turn at first, but holds there with a 2-out single.
Now batting, Ben Schmitz.
Brings up the shortstop, Ben Schmitz. He's 1 for 3 today. Singled, flew out to center, and also struck out. Trying to start a 2-out rally here for New Prague at home. First pitch swinging. It eats up the shortstop, Baran, who does a nice job just to keep it in the infield. An infield single for Ben Schmitz. As he hit that behind the back, good range by Baran, but now there's 2 on with 2 out. Brings up the catcher, Anthony Motter. Motter, rough night at the dish so far. Struck out looking. Also grounded out twice to Baran. One time was a 6-4-3 killer inning-ending double play. First pitch swinging, pops it up, foul. That pink bat. Jacob Motter, his brother, standing at second. Schmitz at first. Swings and misses at that offering. So 0-2 the count. Nolan Gross trying to set down the number 9 hitter in the Orioles order. Foul off. Motter doing a nice job staying alive. The count remains 0-2. Runners at first and second. Orioles threatening here in the bottom of the 7th. Gross shakes off a sign. Now he comes set. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. A big strikeout to end the 7th inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left on base. 7 in the books here from New Prague's Memorial Park. 5-5, New Prague and Waterville on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. Andrew Klein leads things off for Waterville here in the top of the 8th. The game tied at 5. First pitch swinging. Blasts it past Bergman and a sliding Schmitz. A leadoff single for Klein. Going up there hacking. Tyler Brecky, who walked and scored in his last plate appearance, stands in for the first time. Klein with a leadoff single. Waterville hoping to come in and steal this game. Just an exhibition, but still a lot of pride at stake. As that is over for a called strike. 5-5 our score. 5 runs on 6 hits and no errors for Waterville. 5 runs on 15 hits and 2 errors for New Prague. They'll throw behind the runner. And he's back. Klein is back. Funny looking slide. That's why I laughed. Brody Isley still in there. 4th Oriole pitcher of the day. Here's the 0-2. Over for a called strike 3. And Brecky never took the bat off his shoulders.
Coming to the plate, Tom Gannon.
Brings up the left fielder, Tom Gannon. Gannon, 2 steals today. No official at bats. He does have a run. So he has gotten on base and made things happen for the Indians. And pitch outside from Isley. 1 on and 1 out here in the top of the 8th. We're on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour from New Prague. And the second hit by pitch just turned into that one. Gannon aboard once more. It's probably a little regretful that he's got runners ahead of him. He can't steal another base. So that brings up Bladen Bartlett, the center fielder. Bartlett hit by a pitch and scored in the 7th. Reached out an error as well today, and then 0 for 2 otherwise, with a ground out and a fly out. 2 on and 1 out. Isley's pitch misses outside. Wildness from the New Prague relievers, the difference in helping Waterville come back. Plus some timely hitting. There's a strike from Isley. Popped up on the infield. Placence is there for out number 2.
Now batting, Josh Cook.
So a pop out to the second baseman for the second out of the inning. Brings up Josh Cook. He struck out swinging in the 7th in a big spot. Otherwise, he's singled and had a sac fly RBI. Cook with 2 on and 2 out. When bounced in by Isley. He's done a nice job coming on in relief. Couple strikeouts. Isley's pitch inside. Cook has to move out of the way of it. 2-0. Went outside. 5-5 our score here in the top of the 8th on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour on fox9.com and the Fox 9 app. That pitch over for a called strike. It's 3-1. Cook taking all the way. Righty-righty matchup. Here's the 3-1. Inside. And the bases are loaded now for Waterville. So Cook draws a bases loaded walk. And Kobe Fessel up for the second time today. Fessel an RBI ground out in the 7th. Chance to be a hero for Waterville as he looks at a called strike on the outside corner. Here's the pitch. Fessel swings at that offering, breaking ball outside. And it's 1-1, or 0-2 rather. Bases loaded. Isley's pitch to Fessel. He swings and rifles it right off the umpire's mask. Hope he's okay. Ticked off the catcher, I think, as well. He seems to be all right. Yikes. No balls and 2 strikes on Colby Fessel. Bases full of Waterville Indians. Here's the pitch. Oh, and excuse me, stay alive hack for Fessel. And he did just that, fouling it off. Count remains 0-2. Here's a pitch. And Fessel looks at a called strike 3 over the outside corner at the knees to retire the side. So Brody Isley gets out of the inning, leaves them loaded. To the bottom of the 8th we go. 5-5 our score on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour from New Prague. Austin Wilson leads things off here in the bottom of the 8th for New Prague as Josh Cook takes over on the mound. Cook had been playing second. He now takes over on the bump, third pitcher of the day for the Indians. Nolan Gross did good in relief. Basically kept New Prague at bay. So 1-0 the count as Cook winds and fires and misses inside. And it's 2-0. New Prague led 5-1 at one point. Waterville has battled back to tie it. Called strike low at the knees for strike 1. Top of the order here as it's popped up. Coming over and unable to make the play. So Austin Wilson stays alive. Josh Cook winds and fires to Wilson, called strike 3. And Austin Wilson, the first strikeout victim for Josh Cook.
Now batting, Frank Ruzicka.
Now batting, Frank Ruzicka. As he looks at a ball bounced in. We're in the bottom of the 8th here at New Prague's Memorial Park. Here's a pitch from Cook. Ooh. At the knees. They've been calling that low strike all night, and Cook pumped one across. One and one the count, one out, nobody on. Here's the pitch to Rajitska. That's close, good take. Third baseman wonders where that was. Been calling that all night. Here's the 1-2 from Cook. Bounced in, and it's 2-2. Or make that 3-1. Cook rocks and fires. Called strike. So the count runs full on Frank Ruzicka. Very old school approach from Ruzicka. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And he draws a walk. So Frank Ruzicka works a leadoff, or rather a one-out walk. That's what they need, base runners. Brings up Aiden Dorzinski. Dorzinski singled and was stranded at second in the 6th. Cook's first pitch misses inside. Cook lost his footing there, and it skips past the catcher, Melstrom, and Ruzicka moves into scoring position. I wouldn't say he ran, he more like ambled into scoring position. Two 2-0 the count on Dorzinski. Cook sets. Here's the pitch. And Dorzinski wraps it foul toward the third base box. Game started at 8 o'clock local time. 2-1 the count on Dorzinski with a runner at second. Here's the pitch. Called strike over the outside corner. Ruzicka leads from second. That one misses high, and it's 3-2. So Cook has gone full on two of the first three hitters he's faced, including Dorzinski. Aiden Dorzinski. The 3-2 pitch. And Dorzinski hits it on the ground to third. Good job staying down by Bartlett. Bad throw, and it handcuffs Gross at first. I believe that was Jason Schneider, actually, who's playing first, and he couldn't handle the low throw. So now there's runners at first and third with just one out. And a chance for Ben Boothie to be a hero here in the bottom of the 8th. Boothie flew out to the left fielder Gammon to end the 6th inning, rather. He's got runners at the corners with just one out. Sack fly might get the job done. The runner goes. They won't throw down, so cut your indifference. As now you've got Dorzinski at second and Ruzicka at first. E5 is how Dorzinski reached. First error of the night on Waterville. Here's the pitch from Cook. Bounced in. Good block behind the dish by Maelstrom. Waterville with runs in the 6th and 3 in the 7th to tie us at 5. Come all the way back after doing not much the first 5 innings. Here's the pitch from Cook. Low. Ball 2, 2-1. 2 runners in scoring position, just 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Fisted toward the second baseman. No play, he's got to flip it underhand. Gross only could do it, and Rozinski hustles home from third. It's an RBI ground out for Ben Boothie, and New Prague leads it 6-5. There's been a couple of those tonight. Rozinski, not the fleetest of foot, but it was a slow roller, kind of hit off the end of the bat, and that got the job done. Out number 2, but it got it across, so now it's Derek Austin. And the smart play by Gross, Nolan Gross, who's now at second, to just take the out at first and concede the run. He wasn't going to get the out with how slowly it was hit. Cook misses high and inside to Austin. 1-1 the count. 6-5 New Prague. Trying to return the favor after Waterville beat them 5-3 in a rematch of the 2022 Town Ball Tour game at Waterville. 2-1 the count. Cook rocks and fires, and Austin lofts it out to left field, sprinting over, not going to reach there. The left fielder Gannon went crashing into that fence. Great effort by Gannon out there, but it was foul. So Austin stays alive. 2-2 the count. 2 on, a runner standing at third. Big insurance run at third. 6-5 our score. Cook winds and delivers. And Austin swings and misses to end the inning. But New Prague pushes across a run, and they lead it 6-5 as we head to the 9th here from Memorial Park in New Prague on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. Last at bats for Waterville here in the top of the 9th as Wes Kemming is on to try to close it out, protecting his 6-5 lead. Shortstop Ben Baran leads things off for Waterville. He's reached 3 times. He's 1 for 2 officially today. Kemming bounced it in there. RBI single, 2 RBI single for Ben Baran in his last at bat. Definitely his most important. He's also reached on a hit by pitch and an error. He's played a fine shortstop defensively as well. Kemming rocks and fires, and Baran checks his swing and takes a strike. 1-1. 6-5. That one high and tight. Waterville, 5 runs on 6 hits and an error. New Prague, 6 runs on 15 hits and 2 errors. A lot of runners left on base for the Orioles. Kemming bounces it in there. And it's 3-1. Here's the 3-1. And Baran reaches again. 4th time he's reached tonight in a 4th different way. As that's now an error, a hit by pitch, a single, and a walk. So Baran just an OBP monster. Now it's Nolan Gross. He's had a nice night. 2 singles, 2 for 4. He's also grounded out to the first baseman twice. Leadoff runner aboard here in the 9th as Kemming checks him at first. Be interesting to see if this game does end tied in the 9th, what they'll decide to do. But long way to go before we get there. Gross turns away from that one, and Kemming gets the called strike. A little bit of chatter from the Waterville dugout. Kemming, pretty good pickoff move there at first. Trying to keep Baran close. Here's the pitch. Shot foul by Gross. Waterville's got the guys they want up. 5, 6, and 7 in the order. Kemming's pitch, and it's shot foul, and Gross stays alive. 0-2. We're in New Prague on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. First stop of 2024. Kemming checks the runner once more. Nearing the bottom of the 10 o'clock hour here at Memorial Park. Bill Hutt. Pitch taken low. 1-2. Baran leads from first. Here's the pitch. And the fastball blown by Gross for out number 1. There's the heat from Kemming. 7th strikeout of the day for New Prague pitching. Brings up Jason Schneider. Struck out the end of the 7th. To end the 7th, rather. Kemming's first offering taken low and outside. Baran remains at first. Check of the runner. They're doing a good job keeping him close, trying to prevent him from moving into scoring position. New Prague trying to hang on for a 6-5 win here at home. Wrapped on the ground to second. Placent's over to his left. Flips to Anderson at first. And there's two down in the inning. Waterville down to its final out. Here's the pitch across. Jake Maelstrom at the dish. As Kemming rocks and fires. And it's 0-2. Maelstrom doing a fine job defensively catching all game. He is 0 for 3 today. The 0-2 pitch. Oh, they thought they had him. Kemming wanted it. Called a little high. Waterville down to its last strike. Ooh, they nearly picked Baran back. Baran had to slam on the brakes as he started to scamper toward third. Kemming rocks and fires. It's off the end of the bat toward Anderson at first. He bobbles it. He'll flip to the pitcher, and it's juggled. And now they've got the runner caught off second. There's nobody at second. They throw it into left field. The runner breaks for home. The throw to the plate. He is out at the plate. And New Prague wins it 6-5 on a wild play here in the bottom of the ninth. That was a 4-3. That was a 3-1, 4-7-2 putout to end the ball game. An unbelievable finish here at Memorial Park and a fitting way to open the season here on the Fox 9 Town Ball Tour. New Prague nearly threw that away, but Baran was ultimately cut down at the plate the second time that a Waterville runner was thrown out trying to score at home. And ultimately that's the difference as the Orioles come back and they score one in the eighth. After blowing a 5-1 lead, they score one in the eighth, pushing across a run to ultimately win this exhibition contest over Waterville via final of 6-5. So that'll do it for us from New Prague's Memorial Park. For my cameraman Curtis Gilan and producer Logan Anderson, I'm Bill Hupp saying good night from New Prague's Memorial Park.